Hey guys, welcome back to Building SouthLake episode number 20. So I promised you guys a tour of the city, and basically that's episode 20. So hey, I figured why not show what's been happening over the last 20 episodes. So basically we have a lot that's happened. So basically imagine this: if you haven't started watching SouthLake from the beginning, I suggest going to do that. But we will be going over like some of the stuff, like what's taking place and how and stuff like that. So this building in front of me was the very first building ever made on SouthLake. And then now, if you look at it, there's probably over 15 buildings already added onto it. Now, most of the city is built on camera, but I would say some of it is not, just because a lot of it is monotonous stuff that you kind of just want to get done by yourself, and just a lot of it can be boring. And Jax, can you please, move? My cat's standing in front of my TV. Okay. Yeah, but this is how long and how far we have come through the city. It's amazing, and I think the city is definitely going to be more realistic than my other city, Newfield City, excuse me. And I have so many more ambitions for this city that I did for Newfield. I have so much more things I want to do, which I will be going over. But yeah, so over here, I do want to make something clear. I think it was one of the most recent episodes, maybe like episode 18 or something like that. I was working on these buildings here. Now, these buildings, I called them the Rockefeller Buildings, which they're actually not. They're called the GE Buildings. I've seen a lot of comments about that. But I guess they're right next to the Rockefeller Center, and that's why I got it confused. But, yeah, so this is actually my two favorite buildings on the map so far, mainly just because of how they look. And, I don't know, it's one of those impressive buildings, in my opinion. Especially the area up here, too. We can see the city for, like, how good it is. You can see everything. And I could just imagine this being a real city in real life and just having that view, which would just be amazing. You know, a lot of these buildings aren't done, and a lot of people ask, like, well, why don't you finish the building and then move on to the next one? Well, I do have a good answer for that, in my personal opinion. I have a good answer for it. A lot of it is because when I'm building, I come up with a new idea for a new building. So then I want to try to get that idea out of my head and stuff like that. I want to go out and build the next building instead of wasting my time on the interior, which takes forever when I could already be doing other buildings. And also, a lot of these buildings don't have windows in them because I'm waiting for different updates. I'm waiting for the updates to where I can have stained glass, because that's going to make such a big difference in some of these buildings' design. Because, don't get me wrong, the clear glass looks good, but with like the dark glass, stuff like that, I can make some of these buildings look even more realistic than they already do. Now, not all these buildings could use it, but a lot of them could. It would just make everything look so much better in design purposes. Like, for example, this building here. You guys might recognize this from Grand Theft Auto 5. This is the top of the line apartment complex that you can buy in Grand Theft Auto. It's not done yet, but it's close. You can see the almost finished design. But imagine the windows being black and not clear. It would look so much better just because of the color design, and a lot of windows are very dark. So I'm kind of waiting for some different designs and updates to come out so I can actually get those designs that I'm looking for. Because this city's been in development for, probably almost a year now? Maybe not even a year yet. And so much is being done. One of my favorite things are the two bridges that have been done. This bridge here was the very first bridge, and I think it's still my favorite bridge I've ever made. I don't know, just the scale of it and how it looks compared to the city. It has a modern feel to it. But then, still talking about bridges, the one over here is probably my second favorite out of the two bridges, obviously. There will be more bridges later on, but I like this bridge because you can definitely see the realistic aspect of it. It's a bridge that you see so many times. It has that look to it. I don't know, it's just how it looks compared to the city around it. I think it fits in with, again, the modern look. And one of my favorite things that I did was using the quartz stairs as for like drainage and design, because it makes it look better from a distance. It's not just a flat surface. It has a little bit more design to let light through, and a little bit more depth, which depth, as you guys know, I talk about so much, but it really does add design to everything that you do. And I have so many more ideas like for the highways and stuff like that, which I need to try to get working on because that will be a little bit harder. Yeah, so let's talk about some of the things I want to do for this city. So I've already talked to you guys about the underground aspect of things, to where I'm building a lot of the city underground as well, which I haven't started too much yet. But what I mean by that is the subway stations, the train stations that will be added later on. A lot of these things I could not do with my old city Newfield because it was only a regular flat map. In talking about flat maps, let me describe how I got this map so deep, because I've described it so many times, but everybody just keeps asking because I guess they haven't seen that part or they just don't listen. Basically what happened was I decided I wanted to make a new city, and I wanted it to be able to have the subway stations and everything underneath. Well, to do that, what I had to do was I had to use the PC at first, and this was started on the 360, this map. So what I did was, the PC has generating worlds like from the start, so you can say what you want, and that's what I did. I just said I want to make this world 30 blocks up, and this can be completely flat from there. So I just used that converter, and then I converted that world over to the Xbox 360, to where then I started the design of things. And I do want to clarify, all these buildings have been made on the Xbox or on the consoles, and none of these buildings were made on PC. I've never transferred the map, especially from Xbox One, just because you can't even do that yet. But yeah, I've made all these buildings on console, so I want to make that extremely clear. But anyways, now that we got that out of the way, so some of you guys that were asking a lot about that, that's how I got the world to be so wide and everything. But yeah, so the subway stations, like you see here, I'm kind of redoing them a little bit. I'm going to be making these a little bit more realistic. Like right here, you have anvils. This is the new portion. This right here is the old portion, to where it looks good, but it doesn't look too realistic. So I'm trying to go with a little bit more classic design and change things up a little bit, make it look a little bit more realistic, because I do want to make this into the most realistic city as I possibly can. Maybe not even just the most realistic city in general, but just my most realistic city, because I do have high expectations for it. So I've talked about the subway station, I've talked about a lot of that, and also the underground highways like these. This highway eventually is going to turn. I'm going to cut a hole in this wall, and I'm going to expand it all the way over to this highway to where it connects. Now, some of the things I'm going to be having trouble with is I'm horrible with turns for roads, and some of these, like this highway, is going to completely connect with this one. You're going to have off and on ramps connecting each highway together, because that's how it is in real life. So I do need to find a way to work on getting better curved roads. I need people to help me out with that at some point. Yeah, so basically this is the city I've been working on for probably the past year. There's so much more to come. A lot of people are asking, are you going to add a stadium? Like some of them are a stadium, a mall, a hospital, an airport. And the answer to all of those is yes. I will be adding those later on. But as for right now, I don't have the space for it, because this world just got expanded with one of the most recent updates. And also, since this was made on the PC and transferred to the 360 to where the worlds were smaller, when you did expand the map, the C did not realize that this is a flat map up. So as you can see, I have to fill in a lot more area now, which I'm fine with. It's something I knew was going to happen at some point, so I'm perfectly okay with it, but that is something I will have to work on. The city will be expanded, and one of my even greater ideas, which I'm not sure if it will even happen, is to actually make it to where I'm going to have 3 or 4 cities connecting together through oceans and rivers, stuff like that. But that's like the huge picture of the overall city, which hopefully I can be able to do that at some point. But for now, I can't do that. I still have to finish up this city and try to make this city as realistic as possible, and then I can worry about some of the future things. But yeah, so this is the city, guys. I do have a lot of high expectations. If you haven't seen how the city has progressed over time, maybe go start from episode number 1 or whatever one you left off on if you have started, and let me know just like how the city has progressed and what you think of it, what it could do better. One thing I just went in and did yesterday was I took all the 4-way intersections and just all the intersections in general and added a curve to it to make it look a little bit more realistic. And just adding that small curve by like 4 blocks really did make a big difference. But yeah, I think I finally covered everything. I basically showed you everything. I mean, A lot of it is above ground, so a lot of it you can see, like the helicopter. If you do want to know how to make this, I just uploaded a tutorial yesterday, I believe, about this, or 2 days ago, something like that. But yeah, so let me know what you guys think of the city, how it's progressed, what I could, and also let me know what I could do better, what you guys want to see. So bye bye guys, thank you for watching, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye bye.